Chelsea must fix their player instability first, is what I ran with this one. And you see a lot of negative headlines about Chelsea. The locker room is not together. Diego Costa, what are these going to be playing with Chelsea this year? Is he not? Antonio Conte and Diego Costa, will show you a little piece of that interview that we can throw in. Oh, Diego Costa just laid into Antonio Conte. And that's kind of tough because Conte won the Premier League.
Yeah.
So do the ends justify the means here? Is maybe Conte look, one of the rules of life, don't be a dick, right?
Yeah.
Right, so if you're Diego Costa, don't be a dick, but maybe Antonio Conte also shouldn't be a dick.
But wait, isn't this the same situation that we sort of seen after, I don't know, Jose Mourinho won the Premier League with Chelsea, and then all of a sudden,
do you think it's ownership?
The next season, the players started to get a little bit complacent, and oh wait, they had a disastrous season and Jose Mourinho was fired.
Do you think
I am not saying
Bronislav?
Roman,
not Bronislav.
Branislav Ivanovic is the right back.
I know he is, and I always
he's also the owner. I'm not saying that Antonio Conte is responsible for any of this at the moment. I'm not saying that he's going to get fired or that Chelsea is going to finish in the bottom half. What I am saying is that we need to start reading between the lines. We know that Jose Mourinho runs a tight ship, and we know that he lost that dressing room. But we need to start understanding if there is a consistent cause here, that Chelsea as a whole have this certain sense of instability, and maybe, just maybe, because of the ownership, and that there is always a superior level that players maybe do not respect the manager as much as they should. There was several players that were both in support of Jose Mourinho when he was at Chelsea, and there was countless players that were against him. There was a split in the dressing room, which in my mind could come down to a level of control. Jose Mourinho cracks the whip. He likes to make sure that his team is drilled. They won a Premier League, and in the season after, they just fell off a cliff. I would like, as a footballing man, to think that that's not just a result of teams figuring them out. I would think that it's a fundamental flaw within chemistry in the team, because I think chemistry, although it can't really be measured, is such an important thing in any footballing team.
Francis, chemistry could of course be measured. Have you not taken chemistry?
Yeah, I did actually. Is there a big enough
H2O
beaker to get everyone
hydrogen, in? 2-part hydrogens, 1-part oxygen.
I want to get a big massive beaker and put all Chelsea players in and see what recipe we come out with.
What color turns up? Be like, ooh.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Sorry, Conte. This is red. You're fired.
Yeah,
we're blue.
There's too much.
We're the Blues.
Too much alkaline in that. Is that what it is? Alkaline. Yeah, it's right. Edwin's giving me the nod. Chemistry man over there.
Edwin's the chemistry man. What, we just immediately make him the chemistry man.
Well, he just nodded at me. He's like, yeah, you're right. pH levels are good. So
I think you're eating too many chemtrails.
with Diego Costa, you can go look back a couple of months ago, and I said you got to do everything you can to make it work with Diego Costa. He is a drama queen. He is hard to manage, but he's also one of the most deadly strikers in the Premier League. Bringing in Morata, I thought was a good signing. Do I think Morata is a direct replacement for Diego Costa? I don't think they're the same player. I think Diego Costa is a lot more physical. He's a lot harder to handle, both off the field and on for defenders. Morata is a player who I think is still trying to identify if he is a starting striker for any of these clubs he goes to. We know he's a great rotation player and he does well off the bench, and he scored on his Chelsea Premier League debut, but Diego Costa carries a level of fear with him that I will give Morata time to see. So if this is something that just can't be fixed, then I got to understand, is this a Chelsea thing? Is this something that just happens year after year where they win a Premier League, everything looks rosy, and then they have the second year marriage woes?
Yeah, it's interesting. I like. Well, it's interesting because I don't know. There's something's not right in the organization.
Yeah, but
if this is the trend, it's not the trend you want. But it's also not the worst trend in the world because you got 2 Premier League trophies in the last 3 years. Like, something works before, it's almost, you're catching wildfire, pretty much. You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, and you somehow did it twice, because normally when this happens, like what happened last year, 2 years ago before Conte came in, is it just keeps going downhill, but they turned it around and Chelsea ran away with the Premier League. And think about it, Chelsea won 2 of the last 3 years, and the year they didn't win, Leicester won. Like, it wasn't like somebody, Arsenal came in and took it. No. Everyone was happy for Leicester. Chelsea Tottenham this weekend, 1-1 draw as I predicted earlier. Francis, give me the draw. Now give me the score.
2-1.
No, you're wrong. You're
I said
very
2-1
wrong. It's
Chelsea.
Not 2-1 Chelsea. You're insane.
If they have Diego Costa back.
4-0 Dele Alli scores all 4 in the first 27 minutes.
Then the wheels are truly off.
And then we're in some trouble. And Tottenham's also really good. If that were to happen,
they're very good.